Well, hello, retro game players. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Marcus. This time, this is moving the Saturn Collection. So we're going to go through my SEGA Saturn Collection, one of my prized parts of my gaming collection, honestly. Even though, again, it's not a huge collection at all. But it's hard to find SEGA Saturn games for reasonable prices. And, you know, if you've been watching the channel for a long time, you know that I basically never pay full retail. That should be a motto. I don't have a motto, but that would be one if I had one. And so all these were acquired, you know, at different places. There was one guy who was really cool I met in Portland at one point, and he definitely had a bunch of these, and I was able to buy a bunch at once, which was nice. But I had some over the course of the last like 10 years that I was picking up. So anyway, oh, and also Ian, who's been on the channel, he hooked me up with a few of these that are pretty rad as well. So anyway, that's what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and go through the SEGA Saturn Collection because I'm moving. So I've got my moving box right here, ready to fill it up. You do have to be careful with these SEGA Saturn games because of these cases. Let's just look at the first one. Pandemonium, for example. Yeah, the case is just completely busted apart. You know, I do like this game. I've always liked it, but I played it first on the PlayStation. And it's kind of like this 3D isometric, I don't know, it's like a side-scroller platformer, and it's pretty fun. Astal or Astel, this is like some kind of a spin-off of, I'm almost positive it's a spin-off of Lemmings. Here's an example of a horrible case. I don't know if you can see how bad that is. This is Bug. This is actually a pretty fun game, but anyway, it's completely trashed. Solar Eclipse. We did that on the channel. We played that game. That's a really cool game. Croc. Big crock of shit. That's another good one. Another platformer that they were trying to basically do like Mario 64, I think. Galactic Attack. I believe we did that on the channel as well. Wipeout. This is an amazing game. Again, it's one that I actually played first on the PlayStation. But it's a great game, super awesome racer, pretty cool music. I do recommend that. Of course, Tomb Raider is amazing. What a great game. I played this on PC first. Around the time when this came out is when I started to actually work professionally in IT, and I basically built myself a computer that could play this. And it wasn't that, didn't need that much, but it was really fun. Really great game. Sonic 3D Blast. If you're going to play a game as far as this game goes, this is probably the best one on the Saturn, but it's still a weird game, and it doesn't, mechanically, I don't think, work that well. Mortal Kombat 2 is a great version. Earlier I had said that I like the Genesis version in one of my previous videos the most for this game. I forgot about this one. This is probably the version I would play. So yeah, it's probably the closest to the arcade. And then here's another one that was on Sega CD, The Mansion of the Hidden Souls. I've never played it on Sega Saturn, but I really, really dig it on Sega CD. Virtua Cop 2, this is a really cool on-rails type shooter, very arcadey. It's a pretty awesome game. It's definitely a classic Sega franchise. Clockwork Knight 2, this is another really pretty awesome game. I don't think I have the first one. I'm not sure, but this one's pretty weird. It's got some strange, like, pre-rendered backgrounds, and I don't know, it's kind of cool. It's definitely a weird game. Wing Arms, you know, I actually don't know anything about this one. I don't know if it's a good game or not, but it's looks like a World War II kind of fighter pilot game, which I dig those. Virtual Racing, this is like some it says accelerate your Saturn over 300 miles per hour. Now, I don't know how good this version is compared to, I mean, it looks like it's pretty good. But, you know, it's funny, I remember one time playing the arcade, the full-size arcade version of this, and it was amazing. It blew my mind. I'm pretty sure it was like a full seat that, like, you know, sat back, and anyway, it was pretty awesome. So I would say this game is probably a good version of it, but I really don't know. Virtua Fighter Kids, this is just a weird one to have in the collection. Panzer Dragoon, This is one of the earliest games that I played on the channel. I actually streamed it, I think, and then I sent that over from Twitch to YouTube. Pretty sure. I honestly can't remember, but it's old. It's an old video. Check it out if you want to see some classic retro game players. But this is a fun game. I would definitely play it again with a little more practice because it's a pretty awesome game. One of the best Sega franchises out there. Alone in the Dark. I just heard something fall. It's probably a disc, so it's not. What's going on? That's weird. Maybe it was another game. So anyway, Alone in the Dark, definitely a pretty creepy game. Again, this is one that I played on the PC. NHL All-Star Hockey. Yeah, bring it to the ice. Sega Sports Power Play. Dark Savior. This is a pretty cool game. Definitely. You know what this reminds me of is Landstalker. I don't know if this is like a sequel to Landstalker on the Genesis, but that's what it reminds me of. It looks really cool though. Hexen. You know, some people hate this game. I love it, and it's weird, but I really like the N64 version, which sounds awful because the graphics do suck in it. But it's just what I had. I also played it on PC, but mostly I played it on N64, and I really liked it. But the Saturn version does look kind of cool. If you can, play it on PC though. So in Alone in the Dark, I just found this weird thing. This is what was falling around. It's an Alone in the Dark hint card. Prepaid, whoops. Alone in the Dark prepaid hint card. So I doubt that phone number is going on anymore. It's by THQ. You guys should give that a call, see if anybody answers. 1-800-808-HINT. I bet there's no one there. This is actually Alone in the Dark, One-Eyed Jack's Revenge. I don't know if that's a part 2, because I thought there was Alone in the Dark part 2, but Earthworm Jim 2. I've already talked about how awesome this franchise is, but Earthworm Jim 2 is amazing. And as far as the Saturn version goes, you know what? I haven't played it a lot. I always played the second one mostly on Super Nintendo. Looks like I've got Virtual On without a case, but I've got the back, but no manual. Yeah, no manual, just got the case. Sega Rally. This is a pretty awesome driving game. I always played Sega Rally 2 on Dreamcast. Didn't really get into this one that much, but Sega Rally 2 I played the crap out of. F1 Challenge, I've never played this, although it looks okay. Looks kind of like, you know, pretty cool F1 racing style. And then World Series Baseball 1998. Classic. Actually, it doesn't look that bad, to be honest. Here's Mega Man X4. You know, I played this on the channel and sucked horribly. I never really got into the X series Mega Man games. I would like to consider myself pretty good at the regular Mega Man games, but I didn't have very much practice with this when I played. So if you watch that video, I apologize for sucking so bad, but with some practice, I'm sure I'd do okay. It's a cool game though. FIFA 98. And yeah, it looks pretty good. Again, the graphics, you know, they're pretty awesome back then. I still think they looked good back then. Daytona, we just played that recently on the channel. Very cool game. Gex, look how hip that fucker is. Oh my god, he's got his glasses on, he's all kicking back. Looks kind of like he's trying to be Kid Chameleon, if you ask me. But he's not, he's a gecko. And then Loaded, this is a really cool game. I played this again on PlayStation first. But it's a cool kind of two-player simultaneous shooter. You go through insane asylums and blowing everybody up. And they made a sequel called Reloaded, which is also pretty cool. Darius Gaiden, that's a really good shooter. I did that one on the channel. That's a cool game. Panzer Dragoon Zwei. I have not played this on the channel, although this is a great game. Very, very cool shooter. And In the Hunt, played that as well on the channel quite a long time ago. Again, that was one that was streamed way back in the day. And Die Hard Arcade, this was a video that I recorded where the audio got all out of sync because I was still learning how to use OBS at the time, and it just started looping. So the gameplay footage is there, but the audio is insane. It's pretty funny for the first like 2 minutes though. Anyway, Die Hard Arcade is very cool. Mant TT Superbike, you know, this is actually a pretty fun game. I played this on PC. I believe it was PC that I played this on. I'm trying to remember, but it would have been one of the early 3D accelerated games. Soviet Strike is kind of a follow-up to the series that was on Genesis of Nuclear Strike, Desert Strike, and Jungle Strike. I have not played this, but honestly I really want to, and it was kind of buried down here at the bottom. I forgot about it. And I always liked this series. I've always liked it. It's just kind of one of those games to me that was always pretty addicting. The Legend of the Oasis, I have no idea about this at all. It looks kind of like an RPG or something. Don't really know much about this one. So, do you guys know? Is this a good game? I have no idea. Virtual Cop, yep. That's the first one in the other game that we showed a second ago. So again, it's like an on-rails light gun game. Street Fighter Alpha 2. This is definitely a pretty cool classic for you fighting fans. And also, it was a really good game to play with the Saturn because of the button layout, how it was 6 buttons. So pretty awesome. D. This was a game that honestly, I think I played this originally on the SEGA CD, if I'm not mistaken. And it's really kind of slow paced. It's not horrible. I don't think I ever finished it though. Fighters Megamix is a combo game that was Virtual Fighter 2 and Fighting Vipers. And it was kind of those characters from the game. But yeah, this actually came out on a bunch of different weird systems. I could be wrong, but I think it was on the game.com even had a version of this. It does say 10 hidden characters on it too, which I like hidden characters. I always thought that was fun to try and unlock them. NBA Live 97, keeping it real. You got the Soul of Hoops. Ballerine Toshiden. This one's kind of cool. It's like a weapon-based fighter, but I wasn't really into this one, even though it looks pretty awesome. Street Fighter Collection. You know what? I don't know how many this is. Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold. So, wow, that's a pretty good collection. I didn't even realize that it had all those, honestly. The Need for Speed. This is a game I also played on the original PC quite a bit more. So I don't know if this version holds up or not, but I played this on the PC, and I really did enjoy it. AMOK? A-M-O-K? You know, I don't know what that is. A-M-O-K? It sounds kind of weird. Anyway, it looks like a mech game. I really don't know much about this. It does look pretty interesting though. Last Bronx, another crazy 3D fighting game. I remember this in magazines, but I haven't played this, so I don't know if it's that good or not. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Uh-oh, Bug. I think there's a duplicate. Pretty sure we already covered Bug, so this might be a duplicate. And then Nights into Dreams. This is the upright version. I have the other one in the box back here. Albert Odyssey is a real classic RPG. Is that Working Designs? Yes, it's from Working Designs, or imported or ported. And this is a game that Ian hooked me up with for a really good deal. And he also hooked me up with this one, Magic Knight Ray Earth, which is another, I think, Working Designs game, yeah? So these are both very, very cool games. I mean, even the covers are like reflective and they just look really insane. Like, I don't know if you can see, yeah, look at that, it's like rainbow foil. Anyway, pretty cool. Thank you, Ian. Yep, it was a duplicate, which is nice because the one with the smash covers is the one that's I'll be getting rid of. So, I got a few odds and ends here. Sampler discs. So this is some kind of sample disc. Actually says bootleg sampler on it. That's kind of funny. Panzer Dragoon playable preview. So that's all that is. Another crazy Sega Saturn one. Some dude screaming. Here's another bootleg sampler. I don't know if they're the same, but Virtual Fighter Remix. I'm assuming this is the full game. I don't know, it says promotional copy. And then Virtual Fighter 2. Another kind of sampler, or I don't know if it's a full game. And then Virtual Cop. So these probably are full games. I don't know why I have these manuals for them though. So Virtual Fighter 2, Virtual Cop, and then some reason I've got Daytona here without the disc. A couple other here is Nights into Dreams. This is the one with the 3D controller and the games in there. So we did play this game on the channel. It's really fun. It's definitely very, very addicting. When you die, you kind of just want to play it again. This is the action replay. This does a couple things. It improves your saving capabilities, but it also adds memory, I think, and makes some games actually playable that aren't playable. If I remember right, some of the Street Fighter games. And it also plays imports, so you can play an import game using this too. So that's kind of why I have it, because I have some imports that we're going to go over here. Okay, here's my Japanese Saturn games. the first one, oh, look, here's Daytona, the one that I lost. I thought I lost a second ago. So yeah, good thing I have the manual for that. Anyway, for some reason I also got a sealed copy of Virtual Cop, which, is this the Japanese version? I don't think it is, it's just sealed. So, got that. I got some games I didn't realize I had. Sega Rally, just the single disc version. Here we go. Deep Fear. I don't know anything about that one. It looks pretty freaky. I don't like being scared shallow-like, so Deep Fear is even more horrifying. Dark Seed. This is a great game. I'm really into H.R. Giger. I think it's Giger. And this guy did all the art in this game. I played this on the PC. And anyway, I found this at the recent retro gaming swap meet for like $5 or something. And so it was a really good buy. I don't know. I'm really into this game, even though it's mostly text-driven and I can't read it or play it. It might be fun to turn on and check out sometime. Azel. This is some kind of Panzer Dragoon game. It says Panzer Dragoon RPG. So I'm not sure if that's Saga or what this is. Got Dragon Ball Z, which I'm not sure if this is like an RPG version or a fighting game. It looks kind of like an RPG in one of the screenshots, but I don't know. I don't really know. And then Panzer Dragoon Zwei, so got that one in the US, but here's the Japan version. And then Macross something. It says the Super Dimension Fortress Macross. Definitely looks like a crazy anime style game. And then the last one, I cannot read, but it says SNK, and it looks like some kind of fighting game. I think it's the characters from Samurai Showdown, I'm not really sure. Anyway, SNK fighting game. So there you go, guys, that's the Sega Saturn Collection, and I'll keep going through more of the collection as we go, as I move. So thanks for watching. We pretty much filled up this whole box, which is pretty awesome. It's very heavy. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching, you guys. I appreciate it. Until next time, you know what to do. You keep that shit retro by playing your old Sega Saturn. Later on.